This is the Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, the Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana National Sports Media Association Montana
It's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weights. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
The Jason Walker Show, broadcasting from the Major Mortgage Man Cave. Here's Jason Walker.
Yo, happy Thursday, the Jason Walker Show here inside the Major Mortgage Man Cave. Looking forward to a big show. We have, on this day in history, we have the walk-off. What else do we have coming up? I feel like we're missing some. Oh, yeah, there's a baby in the studio, and it's not mine. The awesome softball coaches from Carroll College are here, Aaron Jackson and his sister, Sarah Birnel. But we're really going to talk about and talk with Sarah and her daughter, Presley, who is sleeping at the moment. Babies can sleep through anything, which I guess is a good thing. So we'll talk to them coming up here in about 10 minutes. It's a great story. And we always talk about Carroll College and the Frontier, you know, being a family. And the softball family at Carroll really dealing with some adversity and some awesomeness all at the same time. So we'll get Coach Birnel to talk about that here coming up. And maybe the little one will wake up and we'll see her on the air. So, but we have movable cameras, so we can just do that. But we'll talk to the Birnel and Jackson's coming up. All right, we start with our daily COVID update. And in the state of Montana, we had 117 new cases reported, 89 total deaths to this point, 101 in the hospital, 1,549 active cases, 4,434 have recovered. 1,027 new tests. We're now over 207,560 tests. 690 active cases in Yellowstone County, 258 in Bighorn. Flathead back up into triple digits now with 110. And let's see, Missoula County 76, Cascade 48, Lewis and Clark 44, and 27 in Gallatin County. It says 18 in Jefferson County, but the Jefferson County site says like 5 active cases, so nobody knows. Just a lot of unanswered questions. We did know that Yellowstone County, we talked about it yesterday, Flathead County came out with their restrictions for football and volleyball and really soccer for fans for high school sports. Butte-Silverbow County is limiting to, it appears, 2 people per, like Flathead, the 2 tickets per uniformed member of the team. And they're getting 60 players on the sideline, or 60 people on each sideline, and like 120 then in the stands, but no out-of-town visitors, fans, nor would that be the case or that also will be the case apparently in Lewis and Clark County. Still waiting to hear what Gallatin County is going to do, and Cascade County. Like I said, I said this yesterday, we need uniformity. We need to have a decision made, whether it's at the top, and the Governor Bullock doesn't want to do, it's all about the separation, Montana's Constitution. He can't really get involved. But can we just get one county, like not even the county, but the state health department to just say, here's how it's going to be. We can't have each county pick and choose who gets to have fans and who doesn't. And parents have brought up some good points on social media is, what if your child gets hurt at a game and they have to go to the hospital? Then what? Who's going to be there? Like, if you can't travel with your team to, like, say, Kalispell, if Capital's playing up there against Glacier game 1. Well, no Capital parents can go to Flathead and Glacier games to watch those. What if your kid gets hurt? How does that kid, is the bus going to stay? Who's going to bring the kid home if it's, just a tweak? There's a lot of questions that have to be answered still. And we're a couple of weeks away from AA. Class B starts next week. So we'll keep an eye on all that because we just don't know. But again, nobody knows. The NAI came out with new dates for its championships for fall sports, and it's going to be a cluster starting in January. The NAIA has deemed May 10th as its national championship football game. It'll still be at Robinson Stadium at Grambling State, but it'll be a Monday night. And if you go backwards, you look at like 4 weeks of playoffs, the 2 week bye, if there is going to be one. We're looking at starting Frontier Conference football. Ready for this? Around February, 6th. So February and March we'll play games in Montana, and that's going to be fun for everybody. And then end the season April 3rd. That's 8 weeks of games plus a bye week. And you think we get perfect weather in February and March in Montana, sometimes even April. We never have issues with cold weather. There's never snow on the ground. It never rains. See what I'm getting at? And we'll have softball because they get to play a season starting in February, and they never have any issues in Montana weather-wise for those months. And then we're going to play soccer too. Nelson Stadium does not have turf. Just use Carroll as an example. So if you're going to play football in February and March, and then you have soccer games in February and March, I mean, Nelson Stadium, that crew, Steve Jones does a great job, his facilities crew over there in this fall. It's not going to be good in the spring, folks. Because our softball fields are always in perfect condition in the spring, right? So I just don't see how this is going to be feasible, folks. I really, really don't. Fall or spring, this coming 8 months or so, it's going to be ugly. Speaking of bad news, this is not fun news, but a Grizz basketball player is in trouble. Booked in the Missoula County Jail this morning on a felony strangulation charge and suspended from all university athletic-related activities per the Student-Athlete Code of Conduct. Nasim Gaskin, who's 20, is also being held on misdemeanor partner family member assault. His initial appearance today was postponed. Looks like he's going to be appearing tomorrow in court. Missoula Police Sergeant Travis Welsh said that officers were called last night to a house in Missoula. A woman there reported Gaskin had strangled her and then pushed her off a bed, injuring her. She left the residence, checked into a motel, then called the cops. Emergency services responded. The woman declined to go to the hospital. University of Montana today said, quote, the university and the athletic department are aware of the incident involving student-athlete Nasim Gaskin. We understand the seriousness of the allegations and absolutely do not condone such behavior. Per the Student-Athlete Code of Conduct, he's been immediately suspended from all athletic-related activities. And the university also issued an interim suspension effective immediately. Transfer from University of Utah set out last season. And redshirted, he was expected to start this year. So we'll see what happens in Missoula. All right, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, the story of birth. And I have great envy for women because they are able to, give life. And it's not, I've witnessed it twice, and it's not something I want to go through. But the struggles leading up to getting pregnant, the struggles during pregnancy, and now some struggles afterwards. And we get the true meaning of family when we return here with Sarah Birnel and Aaron Jackson and Presley coming up. Jason Walker Show. We'll be right back. Major Mortgage Man Cave.
Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Do you love to look at photos of Montana, from animals to landscapes and more? Are you looking for a place to get your senior pictures or family portraits done? Are you a business owner looking to upgrade the decor in your offices? Well, look no further than Mark LaRoe Photography. Mark has been shooting beautiful photos all across the Treasure State, from rodeos to portraits, and would love to work with you. Visit marklaroephotography.com to see many masterpieces of his work, then give him a call to schedule your own photo shoot. Or to purchase one of his fantastic pieces, stop by Spirit of the Big Sky Gallery on Custer in Helena. marklaroephotography.com. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. Dinner's Done Right is open and ready for you to stop in and stock up for the summer. How does a Big Sky flank steak sound? Or a sage roasted pork loin? June's menu also includes a Parmesan tilapia and a variety of fantastic chicken cuisines and more. And if that's not enough, Dinner's Done Right's Grab and Go Soup, Salad, and Nacho Bar is back as well, with one exception. The delightful staff now will make it for you. And don't forget deliveries to Bozeman and Great Falls on select days. Stop in at 1212 Cedar Street in Helena or visit dinnersdoneright.com.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back inside the Major Mortgage Man Cave. Can't wait. Next week we got a brand new presenting sponsor we're going to start. Very cool and very excited to get that on the air. And it's a great customer. So appreciate them hopping on board here on the Jason Walker Show. But that'll start next week. Next week also, some of our guests. Bill Foley, ButteSports.com will join us. We haven't always agreed in multiple aspects, but Bill has been getting lit up on the social media like I have, and Bill's going to join us because we actually agree on some stuff. And he's a great writer. Fox weather anchor Janice Dean will join us next week. As you know, her in-laws both passed away of COVID in Governor Cuomo's world over there in New York. So Janice Dean will join us next week. Becky Mapston will join us, talk some rodeo, and every Thursday starting next week, a week from today, Pac-12 analyst Nicole Ragoni will join us. She had so much fun. She messaged me last week and said, hey, can we just make this a regular thing? And I said, absolutely. So we're going to get a female's perspective on sports, pop culture, literally every Thursday now. It's going to be so much fun. So there you go. All right. On this day in history still to come, and a whole lot more. But I want to welcome in our guests. And I mean, I say guest because there's three, but we're only going to really try to talk to two. Because the one that's sitting in here with us, there is Aaron Jackson. He is the head softball coach at Carroll. But really, we want to talk with Sarah Birnel, the assistant coach. And little Presley is awake. How are you, sweetheart? She just looks so cute and adorable. Congratulations. She's what, 5 months now?
5 months, yep.
Born in February. I'll have to pull the mic a little bit closer to you. So yeah, she's looking healthy.
She is. Yep.
Healthy-ish.
Yep.
We'll talk about that here in a second. But this is so cool to have you guys in the studio. And I'm just going to look at her, but I'm going to talk to you, Sarah. She's just like, I don't know what to think right now.
Yeah.
Big eyes. She's got her Carroll softball gear on.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Thank you, by the way, for the sweatshirt. I've waited
too long
to get a sweatshirt from Carroll softball. This guy never, ever got me anything. I talk to him all the time. You took care of me. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
So you're here because you have a great story. And we always talk about, in my time at Carroll, it was time, it was family. Carroll was a family. Softball's a family. Volleyball, all the sports, you're part of the Carroll family. And you guys are family, which makes it even better. But the way that everything has come about since your marriage and for the struggles to get pregnant and then to get to this point, take me through it, because it has been a family affair, not just personal family, but the extended family too.
Yeah, so I got married after my first year of coaching at Carroll. And of course, I wanted a family from the time I was little. So my husband, Zach, and I tried and weren't successful. And the negative after negative became the new norm for us. And that is not a good norm to be in. And so we decided that once my husband got into his apprenticeship with Northwestern Energy, that we were able to see what was going on and see why we weren't the normal husband and wife and getting pregnant. And so we before we went over to Bozeman to see Dr. Schmento, we had seen a whole bunch of other doctors, tried natural things, all these different medicines, and it wasn't working. So our last resort to have a family was to go to Bozeman to see Dr. Schmento, who is the in vitro specialist in the state of Montana. And we kind of started that process in, I guess it would have been in January of 19. And we just learned about what IVF was, what that looked like, what that's going to do to your body, time away from coaching, how is a baby made that way? And so it was a really trying time. The unknown was really scary. And so talking about family, first off, like if we didn't have a faith in God, I don't think we could have done it. So we give credit to God, is our number one credit. But then, we are surrounded by family in our softball program. I obviously coach with my brother. And then John Hahn, our staff, he was my high school coach, and pretty much like a grandpa to me now, and now one to Presley. And then, Allison joined our staff as well, and she has become like a sister and a really great friend of mine. And so I knew I was surrounded by the right people in the middle of trying to get through this during a season. So we started our appointments, and it was a roller coaster,
To
right?
say the least.
Yeah, emotional. Didn't know what to expect. Didn't know if it would work. I remember I got the phone call saying that IVF was a go before we had originally planned. So we started in March, and I was in the Missoula airport 15 minutes before a flight to head to Portland, Oregon for softball. And the nurse says, IVF this month, not June. We have an opening. And I said, yeah, let's do it. Sure. Haven't talked to my husband, but sure. So I okayed it with myself, and then called Zach and said, I hope it's okay, because we're going. So we landed in Portland, and I had to find a lab the next morning to start lab work and all that. So Anna App Roberts' parents live in Portland, and I called them up, and they directed me to a close hospital to go take care of that. So
that's awesome. She's telling her story right now. You get a chance to tell your story in a second, little Presley. Sarah Birnel joining us, brother Aaron Jackson here as well. And this had to have been really tough. And I've talked to you a little bit about it because while you're going through all of this, you see my wife get pregnant right after we got married. You saw Christina Eichler, who used to work at Carroll. She got pregnant about the same time. Of course, Cassie Cosina. This is just, and you want nothing more than to have a child, and you're seeing it with everybody else. Obviously, you're proud and happy. But what were those internal emotions like for you at that time?
A lot of crying. A lot of happiness for them, because you want every woman to become a mom. It's a beautiful thing. But, you'd go home or I'd get in the car and drive home to Anaconda where I live and cry the whole way home. Why not me? Why not me? But at the same point in time, I realized that I had to give it to God, and that, it was in his court, and I couldn't question anymore. And I think that's a big reason why maybe I wasn't getting pregnant, other than medical reasons why. But I was just questioning a lot. And So once I finally just became calm about it and realized that, I just need to let it take its course and God will provide, and that I was in the right place at the right time and surrounded by the right people. So,
and of course, when you get pregnant, that emotion just completely flips to a 180. And I know everybody, when you started telling everybody, was so happy.
Yeah. Well, it was really cool because before I found out that I was pregnant, going through the journey of IVF, nobody really understands what the journey's like unless you're going through it. It puts a toll on your body, physically, emotionally. And so one thing that I can say that when I was going through that, the softball team and the coaching staff was unreal. I just remember multiple times, after practice, we would all gather together and we would pray. Again, faith in God is the forefront of our team. So if you understand Carroll softball, you can see that. And I just remember that, hands were being placed on me, praying over me. We were in Klamath Falls. And that's when I actually told the team what I was intaking and what was about to happen. And I was able to share my journey and my story with them. And I just think that was really neat to share with those female athletes that, what, I'm human, and just because I sit in a coach's role doesn't mean that I don't have a heartache. And there could be somebody on our team that faces infertility, and how awesome is it to share my story? And lots of questions were posed, and it just connected us on a totally different level. And so
take me through that, Sarah, because guys don't, we can hear about it. And your husband obviously is, probably an expert on IVF, but what's behind it? Just tell me about IVF.
Sure. So when you first go in, you obviously have to find out what's wrong. So lots of testing is done on both you and your yourself and your husband, and they figure out the problem. And I am not ashamed to talk about IVF. I think that more women and couples should share their story. I know that because I did, it helped me. So I was diagnosed with polycystic ovary syndrome. And what that means is that my eggs were not healthy. I had a ton of eggs, and people think, well, geez, you should be able to get pregnant. That's not the case when you have too many. And so once we were diagnosed with that, we started on some meds. So pretty much Dr. Schmento was in control of my body, which is really hard to have somebody controlling your body.
Right.
And so I went on some oral meds to just kind of regulate everything. And then here became the scary part of IVF is that I had to get needles involved and shots involved. And I don't like that. And so I had to do, for a few months, 3 shots in my stomach every evening. Wow. Those were done on the bus, in the locker rooms, in the hotel rooms, wherever I had to do it at 10 o'clock, and it had to be exactly 10 o'clock.
And it's 3 shots all at once?
3 shots all at once, just in my stomach. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And that's just to prepare my ovaries. So then through that time, though, we're going in and out of the doctors, having ultrasounds, seeing where we're at. Then after that round of shots, once my ovaries are prepared, you go through what's called a retrieval process. And that's where they take your eggs and then obviously take Zach's. And that was a scary time too, because we thought for sure we were going to go right into the retrieval, and the next week we were going to do transfer time, and then 12 weeks later we were going to be pregnant. So I went in the day before retrieval, and I found out that I can't have the retrieval. That the retrieval wasn't going to work, and
it's okay, Presley.
You're okay. And I couldn't do the retrieval because I had a cyst on my ovary.
Oh man!
So here it just hit us again. We thought we were on the right track, and then boom. So I had to have surgery for that. So we were out another month before we even could do the retrieval. So we take care of that. I go in, do the retrieval. Come to find out we had great embryos, grade A embryos, and that's what you want. So we were lucky to have 3 of those. And then what they do is they put him in a either a fresh transfer or a frozen transfer. And we did a frozen transfer due to healing and all that. So in June, on Father's Day of 19, we went in for the transfer. And so that was the day that we were implanting our baby.
That's awesome.
And I get goosebumps thinking about it. I allowed Zach to pick that day, and he said that was his first Father's Day. And I truly believe it. Wow. And in that time, we were awake for that, so we got to see the whole entire thing. And it's just remarkable what you go through to get to that point, and then to watch them place this perfect embryo right where it needs to be placed. And it was just an incredible experience between a husband and wife that nobody can explain unless you were there for it. And then it became 2 weeks of waiting. Okay, are we pregnant? Are we not? Which then also entailed shots in my back. Then I got put on oral meds again. And then I had to have shots in my back, very long needles, alternated between sides. I was on the recruiting trail with Aaron. Oh. Aaron gave me numerous shots in my back. What a great brother. And that was really hard. That's when I began to get heavier. I was gaining weight. My self-esteem was low because I was self-conscious about that. Even though I knew what we were doing it for, it's really, really hard. And then I just remember the 2 weeks came, and I was in Butte, and I was grocery shopping, and I was waiting for the phone call. I just gotten my blood drawn. Zach was at work. And I'm waiting, and I had this all planned out how I was going to tell him, but I couldn't go and buy any of the stuff because if it was negative, why would I do that?
Right.
And trying to stay positive in that was really hard, but I just kept remembering what my family kept telling me, the coaching staff, our players, all that support and love around me. There was no way it wasn't going to be positive. The prayers. So anyways, I ended up getting the phone call, and her voice sounded sad. And I just instantly got kind of tears in my eyes, it's going to be negative. Just kind of numb again, And sure enough, she said, "You're having a baby." And I lost my mind. And I didn't want to tell my family, and I didn't want to tell Zach yet because we were going to surprise both.
Right.
And so here I am in Walmart in Butte getting the things I need, and I'm sure I had tears rolling down as I'm walking and shopping, and pretty amazing feeling. But then I'm I want to tell somebody. I have nobody to tell, nobody. So, so it was pretty amazing experience when you get that phone call. But then, when I told Zach, I surprised him at home, and I thought he was going to pass out when I told him.
Well, I'm glad you didn't tell him while he's hanging off of a light pole.
I know, yeah. I know, off of a big power line. And that day he was actually working on a big, huge power line. So he was he did tell me, he's it was kind of weird that I hadn't heard from you. So I told the guys, I was I'm going to head home early just because I think it's negative. And she's just not sure what to do with herself. And thankfully, I got everything decorated in the house literally 2 seconds before he walked in.
Oh, jeez.
So I was able to get it all on camera and all that. And then we came to Helena and told my family. And I actually made Aaron a onesie for Presley to wear. And it said, it's in his office right now, but it said the Women's College World Series buddy coming soon.
Oh, nice.
So Aaron and I go to the Women's College World Series together, and so he has a little buddy now to go with him one day. It was pretty neat experience then. But then it doesn't, with IVF, still happens. So 12 weeks, I'm still having to give shots, and that's to make sure that she or he at that time survives. Because my body isn't prepared for that, and it has issues inside. And so we needed to literally, I like to say, pump myself with, the good medicine to make her healthy, or he healthy at the time. And it became harder and harder. My back was becoming rock hard. So to get those in, it was a screaming battle, crying. Before I was a champ, it was no problem. And, you know, like Aaron and my husband and my mom, all those that gave me the shots, said it became harder and harder to push in, and they knew they had to do it, but it was really, really hard.
What a painful experience.
Yeah, and so then when I went in for my other ultrasound to make sure that she had made it to 12 weeks, holy cow, it was just like you could breathe. And then we ended up telling people at that point
that is
that
awesome.
they were pregnant.
Sarah Birnel joining us here. Brother Aaron Jackson, too, and little Presley is on the bottle. Holds it already, and with the left hand, I know you want a left-handed pitcher.
Left-handed pitcher, but she's going to be a power righty,
I like
right?
that.
For
you
hitting.
can be a switch hitter. It's okay too.
I figured I should put her on a bottle instead of the other way.
It's okay. I'm used to it after 3 kids, but it is a little different when it's someone else's.
I don't think the air wants to see it either. So.
Yeah, well, it's internet only, so it's okay, I think. But anyway, the IVF is just, I've had friends that have gone through that, and, twins are a big, big chance of having a twin.
Yep.
But are you obviously just happy with the one, but what did you think about, what if I have twins?
Yes. It was a running joke between Zach and I. He wanted one, and I said, well, great chance of them dividing.
There you go.
And Dr. Schmento even said, too, it's a good chance. But we got one, and so now the running joke is the next time we'll have to do IVF again, as we have 2 more embryos to use. And I said, well, they could divide. We could put both in, and we could have quadruplets.
Oh, geez.
So Zach's not overly enthused with me right now with the running joke in our family, but we look to do IVF potentially starting next summer again. So.
There's a chance that you could have like the starting pitcher, catcher, and the corners for a softball team.
Yeah, and I just saw one of my friends. We used to play ball together and against each other back in the day, and we all have girls, and we have about 7 players already. So we got a team going.
I like that. Okay, so we've talked about the family and the importance of the softball team. And, a lot of girls that play softball, or a lot of females and males both in athletics at Carroll, are into the medical profession, or they want to be in the medical profession. How many on the softball team really, for you, because of the medical background, were helpful?
Oh, unreal. They just wanted to know. They wanted to learn. I remember Courtney Schroeder was one of my biggest go-tos.
She's a goofball, by the way.
She's awesome. Definitely going to miss that girl that she graduated now. Yeah. But, she really invested her time. And, when we were on bus rides or I was driving the van, she'd be my co-pilot. And she just asked, but really a lot of them asked. It didn't matter if they were in the medical field or not. But those ones that wanted to know, give me details. Don't be ashamed of it, know? And I'm like, sure, I'll tell you everything. And so it's just neat to see them kind of grow in that area. Maybe they weren't going to learn that in school right away. But it was pretty amazing. And I think it really helped me kind of get through that because I was able to talk about it. I think sometimes, Dr. Schmento did make me aware that depression is huge and pre-pregnancy with IVF patients. And I could see that. But I never experienced that. And I truly believe it's because, one, my family, my faith, and the softball team. I cannot thank the softball team enough for just the support day in, day out. Letting me come to practice sad, letting me come to practice excited, all of that. And then, it's pretty, I don't know if I could have went through the IVF journey anywhere else besides being at Carroll. And I say that because my boss, the head coach, is my brother. And I say that because he understood. He said, you know what, if you can't make it today because you just emotionally aren't there, that's fine. If you need to step away, you need to step away. I missed a couple series for weekends for softball, and it was no big deal. But to me, it was a big deal, right? I'm leaving my team. But at the same time, I knew why. And I knew the support was there. And the text messages.
Why.
Yes.
That's a bigger thing that I think of. But when you're at practice, Did they know right away when you showed up, like, okay, we can have fun today, or this is a day that we just need to be there and be there for her if she needs?
Yeah, Aaron talks a lot about like leaving your outside life kind of, there and come and just enjoy the game, right? And I really took that to heart during IVF. There were times where I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't control my emotions. I mean, I would look at a softball and it would make me cry. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm crying right now. Like, I'm really in a good mood, I promise. Like, poor infielders, But, I really took that to heart because I knew that for the better interest of our team, like, I needed to be myself to get the best out of our players. And so I really felt, though, that if it was a bad day, they were going to be right there. They always asked, how are you doing today? Like, what's going on with IVF? Like, do we know if we have a baby yet on the way, Or it would be a bad day. Okay, well, how can I help you? Like, can I pray for you? Can I, So, yeah, it was huge to know that those girls understood. And, there were some that were more reserved and, like, I don't really know about that. Like, I don't really, not that they didn't care. It just wasn't their area. Not their comfort zone.
Right.
But in their special way, they reached out, which was really neat too.
Well, now she's got 30, sisters or
Yes,
aunts
she
for the rest of her life.
does.
So,
Oh, yeah.
And then, I mean, it's going to keep adding because
Yeah.
of the years as they go by. Can you stick around for another segment?
Yeah.
Okay, because she's still awake.
She's
so
good,
that's
yeah.
Because I do want to get Coach Jackson's thoughts on a couple of things here when we come back. It is the Jason Walker Show, and we're talking about something very positive, but very serious at the same time. Sarah Birnel, Aaron Jackson, still in studio. We return next here on the Jason Walker Show.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show. Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918. Or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. Do you love to look at photos of Montana, from animals to landscapes and more? Are you looking for a place to get your senior pictures or family portraits done? Are you a business owner looking to upgrade the decor in your offices? Well, look no further than Mark LaRoe Photography. Mark has been shooting beautiful photos all across the Treasure State, from rodeos to portraits, and would love to work with you. Visit marklaroephotography.com to see many masterpieces of his work, then give him a call to schedule your own photo shoot. Or to purchase one of his fantastic pieces, stop by Spirit of the Big Sky Gallery on Custer in Helena. marklaroephotography.com.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back. Jason Walker Show. Major Mortgage Man Cave. Just continuing here. We got On This Day in History coming up, the walk-off. Tell you what's coming up tomorrow, next week as well. No shows on the 28th or the 31st. That is my birthday weekend. So the wife is taking me somewhere to golf. I don't know where. She hasn't told me. She wants it to be a surprise. So no shows on the 28th or the 31st. And depending on how I golf, maybe no shows after that. I don't know. Maybe I'll become a pro. Doubtful. All right, but we are continuing here in the Major Mortgage Man Cave with a couple of great guests, and then the head coach of the Carroll softball team is here too. Aaron Jackson sitting here along with his sister, Sarah Birnel, and little Presley, who just ate and just burped and was impressive.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Can you give me another one?
Can you?
She's got the little scrunched up face like, I want to so bad.
He's asking you to do
I don't like headbands on babies, but that one's cute because it's a softball.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm not.
And Uncle Aaron gave her this shirt. So.
I like the shirt a lot.
I couldn't decide this shirt or the other one he got her, which was future softball coach.
Oh yeah.
She just did it. You missed it.
No, it wasn't as good as the first one. But that might be the first on-air burp in Jason Walker Show history.
Look at you. Good job.
Yeah. I want to continue because she's got to have something pretty serious coming up, and I want to talk about that. But Coach, I wanted to bring you in for a couple of questions because, you sat here, you went through this whole process with your sister and the team and the family, and you know what she's been through. As you sit here today with Coach Sarah and little Presley, your niece, what's your emotions?
Yeah, it's a pretty special thing. Be able to go through and be able to be a part of the process that, like she said, we were on the road recruiting and 10 o'clock at night in the hotel room and having to give a shot. And as you can imagine, the recruiting days are long enough. And then rushing back to make sure we get the shot in time is an added piece. So to see it all come to fruition and to spend I think we spent almost 3 days in the hospital coming back and forth to practice and before Miss Presley arrived. And so it's just a great culmination. And then she's just been during a time that could be pretty dark and with COVID has been really a light to our family and fortunate. We've got to spend more time with them ever because the lack of recruiting and at the end of the season. But so we've been blessed to be able to do that. So we just love having her around and fortunate to have a team. Today they were first team meeting and they all wanted to hold her, but obviously with what's going on, we want to hold her back. But they were all excited to see Miss Presley, and I always say she's got 24 sisters or aunts, and will continue to grow. And what a great environment to be able to, as a young lady or a young baby right now, but we'll soon be looking up to those little girls and hopefully become one of them one day.
When Sarah first got pregnant and was going through the process of the IVF and all the treatments, and then the news that comes out, what were those conversations like between you and her as boss to manager to assistant, knowing that there's that special relationship of brother sister that if you can't be there every day, are you going to want to? I mean, this was nothing, and I know you guys, and I'm just guessing here, but was it? You're still a member of this team, whether you're going to be there for one day or not going to be there for 3 months. I mean, this is still her team. Is that kind of how it went?
Yeah. So leading up to it and through this process, I probably got some weird looks, and because I consulted colleagues of mine, coaches and some elite coaches at the University of Utah, to mention one, and just said, how do you do it? And what's the advice for a head coach and dealing with assistant coach that's trying to have a baby and then ultimately is pregnant, and then how you balance it. So I think that leading up to it, some coaches, why are you asking me? It's not the typical person to come up to ask, a male asking those questions. So, and then when it arrived, everything transpired, it was clear. If you need to be away, you're good. And don't worry about that. And that was the biggest stress on her, I think, is, am I missing out? Am I letting the team down? And so that constant telling her, no, you're good. And to be honest, up till she was in active labor, that she had the computer on watching live stream of our series. And I heard about it. Good thing that we took 3 or 4 against Warner Pacific that weekend. Because she was not too happy about the first game that we dropped 2-1, but I was happy with the rest of the weekend. So to say that she was an active part and it was still there, we'd have daily conversations on what happened at practice, what do we need to work on, things like that. So, and the same thing continues as we head into the next journey here, which we'll talk about the next steps and what Press is going to face. Is the same thing has been extended. We need Coach Birnel a part of our program, even if it's only for a few days here and there.
Sure.
I think is an important piece of us and what she does on and off the field and her commuting, and for not a whole lot of money, and so the sacrifice there is great, and she does it because it's something that she loves to do. And I keep telling the story. There's a lot of connections between softball and her family, and how all this came together. And the first story of her and her husband, Zach met my parents on a 12-hour car ride to LeGrand, Oregon, when Sarah was playing. So so that's where it all began, and he didn't die on the way, and he came back. So softball's been a game that's given us so much, and just appreciative of the opportunity that we have at Carroll.
Aaron Jackson, the head softball coach, assistant softball coach, and sister Sarah Birnel. 20 weeks, you go in with Presley, you find out she's got a big issue.
Yeah, so we were going to Butte for our ultrasounds. I was seeing a physician actually in Anaconda where we live, and but we did our ultrasounds in Butte, better technology there.
Yep.
And our ultrasound tech, again, like, these stories are so neat because she went through IVF, and every ultrasound we went to just shared what we were going through and what we had gone through. And that ultrasound was kind of an odd one. She wasn't herself when looking at the images, and Zach and I were just kind of like, I wonder if she's just having a bad day or whatever. And so at the end of our ultrasound, she said, well, we're gonna have to send you to Missoula to get better imaging of her lung and her heart. And I mean, it was like a truck hit us, like, okay, like, wow, like, everything was great. Like, we didn't see any issues. And, so then all of a sudden we just didn't really overthink it. We're like, oh, they just couldn't get good images. That's what it is. She's still so healthy. Like, well, at that time we didn't know what she was. That weekend we ended up having we had a gender reveal party. So anyways, then we found out it was a girl. And then we make our way over to Missoula. And we had seen Dr. Fawcett and Dr. Holbrook there, and they are the lung and heart specialist over there. And we go into that ultrasound just so, like, not really sure what to expect, but probably just getting some good images, and then we're going to be on our way, and we're going to keep seeing our doctor in Anaconda and, deliver there, and life's great. And it was an 1.5-hour ultrasound with silence. And the tech really wasn't giving us any clues. And Zach and I kind of started to get a little emotional, like, why is she not talking to us? She kept leaving the room. And so she comes back in and she says, well, Dr. Fawcett's on his way. And we're like, okay, like, again, now all of a sudden our hearts sank, like, all right, I have no idea what's going on. He comes in, he's looking at it, kept looking at her lung and her heart, and we have no idea what we're really seeing on there because, I mean, as we all know, ultrasounds are hard to read if you're not in that field.
Exactly.
And so he comes in and he says, well, I have some news that no parent really wants to get. And Zach immediately started crying, and I'm trying to hold it together so I can hear, because I don't think Zach, I didn't know if he was okay, really listening, and, and so he actually just stopped talking for a second. He says, I'm going to step out, and I'm going to give you two some time before I share with you what we found. So we kind of gather ourselves, and comes back in, and he says, well, your daughter has a mass on her lung. And again, a truck hit us. Like, what? We have struggled for 3.5 years to get pregnant. Then we had to go through IVF. Like, God, what else are you going to hit us with, you know? But we knew we were strong, and we knew that, like, you know what? Bring it on. Right. And so we had no idea what this mass was called at the time. And all of a sudden, Dr. Fawcett says, well, it's called a CPAM, and it's a rare mass in female babies. It's 1 in 25,000 babies get this mass, and it's more common in male babies. And so he said, well, now your journey begins. You need to make your journey here every 2 weeks for ultrasounds. We need to monitor the mass. If this mass grows, then you will have to go through fetal surgery, in-womb surgery. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like, no, like, so we got our prayer warriors out, and as you can tell, I'm a huge person of faith. So we just prayed and prayed and prayed, and I had an ultrasound right before Aaron and I hit the road to California to recruit, and I got the phone call of my result, and I knew that this ultrasound was a big ultrasound. You know, we're obviously further along at this point. I think we were close to 26 weeks or so. And the doctor says, well, the mass has grown, and it's really close to the number that we don't want to be at. And her heart has shifted. There is a little fluid around her heart. So right now the path is that you're going to have to come back, and we're going to do another ultrasound, and we're going to be making our way to have surgery. And I'm in California, not next to my husband. Right. And, you know, remind you that, I don't think I mentioned this before, but lung issues are on my husband's side. His brother and sister both have cystic fibrosis. And so we thought, oh my goodness, like another lung issue, like, are they tied in? And we found out that CF and her mass on her lung had nothing to do with each other, which is a blessing. Yeah. And so I called Zach and said, this is what we're dealing with. And so we ended up coming back from our trip, and I go in, and we're prepared. Zach and I have talked, and we are prepared for the long haul. We're prepared that our daughter might not make it. Right. That fetal surgery is not a guarantee. And where the mass was sitting in her heart, you know, was shifted. So the mass sits on her right side, but because the heart had completely went a 45 degree, that was really alarming. And so anyways, going for an ultrasound, and oh my gosh, by the grace of God, the mass shrunk drastically. And we were just, the doctor's face was like unreal, just like he was in utter shock. Like, this is not what I expected. You know, it's rare that they do shrink once they start to grow. And so, yeah, we said, well, what do we do next? You know, and he said, well, you just keep coming every 2 weeks. We're going to monitor this, and she's probably going to have surgery when she's born. So she's due in February, which is right during season. Well, her due date was in March 3rd. They ended up inducing me on the 25th of February. And I'm thinking, okay, well, she's my number one, right? My body is, like, I have to take care of us. And I know that, you know, it was okay to be away. But then when we had to have surgery, you know, when she's born, what does that look like? Do I miss a full season? You know, do I miss just a couple weeks? You know, I'm not sure. And so, they decided to, I was at high risk now at that point. And the mass just kept shrinking and shrinking every appointment we had. And, you know, the doctor had no answer. He was just like, I'm happy that this is happening, but this does not happen. And so, they ended up wanting to induce me early. So, Presley and I ended up going to Missoula, and we were able to stay at the Ronald McDonald House, which is a phenomenal facility. And so we were there a full week before they induced me to monitor her and I. And they were in California. And so I had my computer on, watching every game, yelling and cheering. And the lady at the front desk said, "Is everything okay in there?" I said, "Yeah, just cheer my team on. It's fine."
You're the assistant in Hoosiers.
Yeah. So that was pretty hard to be away, but I knew I had to be, and I was able to see the team before that. That was the last time I had seen the team before she was born. And so I kind of had a week to myself a little bit. Right. And that was kind of nice, just Presley and I in my belly, and I got to hang out. So, yeah, that's leading up to her delivery.
And then she's born. And then the news comes out a couple weeks ago that now she has to have the surgery.
Yeah, so when she was born, we won't go into the gory details of birth, but I was in labor for almost 40 hours. And she did get stuck for 4 hours. And then we had an emergency C-section, and so forth. So when she came out, they did a scan on her, and they said that because the mass had not grown anymore, that we would wait until she's a little older to put her under to do another scan. So that would be 6 months, and she's almost 6 months now. And so, as parents, she looks healthy, right? Yeah. Then a few weeks after she was born, I guess she was a week old when she went to her first softball games and watched mom coach and all that. And then COVID hit. And then everything was ripped away. And then I was home by myself and I couldn't see family. It was just my husband and I, but we had nobody to go through. In the back of our head, our daughter's sick. She looks healthy. She does have lungs. She lets us know, but but just kind of that scary time of like, what do you do when this virus is here, and if she gets it, that's not good,
right?
And so the likelihood of babies getting it is pretty slim, but she does have lung issues, and so anyways, moving forward to her CT scan she had last Wednesday. They put her under for that, and we were praying that it was removed, or that it was gone, and it's there, and it covers her. So on the right side, you have 3 lobes of your lung, and the lower third lobe, the mass covers that. So we go in and have this, and Dr. Thayer in Missoula came and talked to me after her scan and said that surgery was needed. And that she didn't want to wait until she was a year old. Needed to be done before that, potentially anywhere between 6 and 8 weeks. And I'm thinking, holy cow, like life just got really hard now. And so then she's talking to me about the surgery, and they said, well, we don't think we have to cut her open, but there's a chance that we'll have to cut her chest open to get to where the mass is at. And she said we are going to take the lower third lobe, so she'll be left with 2 lobes in her lung. And that's scary to hear. Like, what are the effects going to be? Will she be able to play like a normal child? Right. She's not going to be no marathon runner because that's just not in our genes on both sides. So we all know that. But can she do those activities that a normal child can do? And Dr. Thayer really reassured us that she would be able to, but that the surgery is a scary surgery. And so we were planning on doing it in Missoula, but then talking to Dr. Thayer more, she had never done a CPAM surgery before. And I said, well, I'm going to go to the best of the best. So could you direct us to where that would be? And so we are going to make our way to Denver. We will go to the Rocky Mountain Children's Hospital there. At first we thought it was at Denver Children's. But the doctor at the Rocky Mountain Hospital, he had come up with the CPAM surgery. Oh. So we have the best in the country, and we are playing with our bow. And so he does these, and he is really familiar with the lung and the heart, and so that is where we are headed. In fact, tomorrow I make the call to hopefully schedule her surgery, and that surgery. Total time could take anywhere between a week and a half to 3 weeks that Zach and I will be gone. And we'll be spending time there and getting her healed up and hopefully back to normal life. So,
aside from the CPAM, which is scary, Everything else is fine.
Everything else is great. She's a healthy baby. She's chunky now, which is good. She had lost a lot of weight when she was born, so that was kind of concerning to us. But yeah, other than that, she's good. She's right on track with growth and development. And so, that was another thing that my husband asked, when we found out, will her development be delayed? Because it is an abnormal growth, and it was close to the vertebrae and, all that. And they reassured us that they've never seen any delay in this. And even with removing it, there should be no delay. So she's right on track and doing great and loving life. And we started green beans.
Nice. I know, Sarah, that as a parent, you just immediately go research as much as you can. And there's a lot of real scary stuff out there. But what are the best options with this surgery? Like the long-term, health-wise, is there a lung transplant potentially down the road? Or I mean, where are we at after the surgery?
So, those are all questions you ask, right? Because you're the unknown, it's rare. I know nobody that's had a baby that's had this, so of course, everything is running through our minds. Is it cancerous?
Yeah.
That was the number one question we asked.
Yeah.
Is it cancer? Will it turn into cancer if we don't do it immediately when she's born? And the doctors reassured us that it is not cancerous. But if we were to leave it in, which you can leave CPAMs in. Most of the time they don't, just because when she does get older, it can turn into cancer.
Okay.
And then she would be more apt to getting sick a lot. So that was another reason why we should take it out, so that, she doesn't get all those lung infections and respiratory issues and things like that. So, as far as moving forward after surgery, no, nothing will hold her back. Only if she's skill-wise just isn't that,
Right, yeah.
But nothing will be in her way. And, we're concerned about maybe some asthma, things like that. Could that play a factor? And asthma does run in Zach's side. So, she may have that when she's older. And that was a concern. You're taking a part of her lobe.
Right.
A whole lobe. And they said that what's interesting enough is that because your left lung only has 2 lobes because of the heart, if they do it when she's little, the lung has no idea. So if you wait until she's older, then the lungs will have to overcompensate, and it becomes a lot trickier. She's learning to take her headbands off now.
Smart girl.
Yeah, but so no, there will be no effects afterwards.
That's awesome.
Which is huge, So.
And it doesn't affect the heart at all.
No, so because the heart did move back, and there was no fluid, there is no.
Fantastic.
No issues with the heart. If the mass would have been on the side of the heart, then it would have been a lot different story. But they find that these masses tend to be on the right side. So again, it's a fairly, I wouldn't say it's a new discovery, but it's so uncommon that they're still trying to figure everything out about it, and so.
So it's more common in boys than it is in girls.
Yep.
And so she's rare in so many great cases. I mean, this is.
She's a miracle baby.
She definitely is. All right, Presley. What's the name or meaning? I mean, are you guys Elvis fans? Because I know that was my first thought. I'm just going to call her Elvis.
So shout out to Emma Hamilton on our team, one of our catchers. Speaking of Elvis, when I told the team what her name was going to be, Emma started calling her Elvis.
That's funny.
In my tummy. So she's like, "Hey, what's up, Elvis?" So, but I've always loved Presley. Zach has always loved Presley too. So when we were talking about names, we both came up with the same name, and so we just really like it. And then her middle name is Jean. And that runs in my family. So I'm Sarah Jean. My mom is Darla Jean. My grandma was Donna Jean. So we kept that.
So it runs in the genes.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, I got to do that. Hold on. There. I got you got to remember where it's at. My little rim shot. Sorry, Presley. Your first bad dad joke. Maybe not, though. Is your dad funny?
He's a pretty funny guy, huh? Yeah. You and Dad get along, huh?
Is there a way that the community can help, or is that even an option, or does it matter?
I just think prayer and just the support, and know that people are there for us. We are really blessed, and I love to give credit to Northwestern Energy, because without their insurance, we wouldn't have Preston.
Right.
And again, this surgery will be covered, which is I don't know, not everything will be covered, but a good chunk of it will be, and that's huge. With what I do, and the income that I make, it isn't as great, and so we're thankful. Presley and I are both thankful that we have a husband and a dad that provides. And as far as the community goes, I just think like the help. I don't know. It's hard to say, right?
Well, Helen has always been great. The community, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Whether it's financially or prayers. I mean, it's just. Helen is a great community for anything related, especially with children.
Yes.
I mean, let's be honest here.
Yeah. Well, in the moment that we told everybody that she was going to have surgery, the overwhelming it came flooding in of what can we do? People along the way making our way to Denver that live, in between here and Denver. You can stay at our house.
Oh, wow.
Or I'm like Coach Pinkerton, which was the Montana coach before he went back to Iowa State. The Venmo thing, I guess, is a new thing to do, send money.
Yep.
He said, hey, here's $50 for you and Zach in Denver for dinner.
Nice.
Things like that you just don't expect, right? And it's unreal, just the love. And our friends in Denver, we work and recruit for Triple Crown Sports.
Great organization.
Yes. Phenomenal family, very family oriented. So they understand. They have all reached out to me and what can we do when you're in the Denver area, and then just family here and friends here, have just showed the love and support. And so I think we're in great hands. And is it scary?
Yep.
Is it nerve-wracking? Absolutely. But you know what? She's a fighter. She fought the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
You tell everybody about it.
Yeah.
She is absolutely adorable.
Well, thank you.
I don't want this to sound weird, but did the COVID situation almost make it a little bit better because then you weren't missing softball? And I mean, there's a positive that came out of the season being canceled because then you don't have that fear of going back and forth, and am I missing, am I not, things like that. So I guess there's a silver lining with the COVID there.
Oh, for sure. I think it brought my husband and I a lot closer and realized, like how special and what a gift she is, but then just our marriage and our relationship, and being able to raise her, him and I, we're really close with our families, but when it's just a husband and wife and your brand new baby, there's something so special about that you'll never get back.
Right.
And so during this time of the unknown with COVID and the unknown with her lung, because we were waiting for a scan, we literally had each other. And that was so neat to see us just build on our marriage and becoming, I think we're great parents,
Well, yeah, you brought her on the Jason Walker Show.
Yeah,
come on.
what the heck?
So not many kids get this opportunity here.
Yeah, but it was hard because I felt like you miss out on a lot when you're stuck at home, right? And you're told you can't go anywhere except for essentials. Like, what? Like, for me, I'm a go-go person.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like sitting at home. So
you don't like sitting anywhere.
No. So, I think COVID was a huge blessing because I got to stay home with her. And I also was teaching at St. Andrew's School, PE. And our school obviously shut down due to COVID, and that was another blessing. I got to spend time and watch her grow from the time she was born, and she wasn't sent off to daycare. And with coaching, I am able to bring Presley, which is huge. I am a big believer in stay-at-home moms or moms that can work and have their babies or whatever that looks like, And again, our coaching staff, Carroll atmosphere. Kids are always around,
Yep.
So yeah, I don't like COVID.
Right.
It needs to go away.
Yep.
But at the same time, I was very lucky to get that extra bond with her, and so.
Well, it's a inspirational story. I don't want to say great story. It's an inspirational story, but it's great that she's here. She's doing well, and I'm getting text messages from the wife. The little one's literally standing just outside the door. She's ready to see. Yeah, Winnie wants to see Presley. So
maybe you guys can be friends.
You can't be. We're trying to figure out if Winnie's going to play softball.
Well, we can get her involved, can't we? She might be able to come to a camp with you.
Yeah, you guys could be besties. Yeah.
She can be a righty and you'll be the lefty, and look at that. Or she'll be your catcher. How about that?
There'd be a small catcher.
That's okay. That's all right. I do want to say one last thing. I appreciate having or inviting us onto the show. It means a lot. I'm a big advocate for infertility and sharing your stories, and
that's why I wanted to have you on, is to get that story out there, because you know, we were lucky. My wife had a almost perfect pregnancy and you know, all of that, but it's not that case for everybody, and so I'm glad you were able to come in, and like I said, I just wanted to sit back and let you tell the story. So.
Well, I appreciate it, and for any woman and family that's listening that's struggling, reach out to those that are struggling, have been through it, and don't be afraid to, you know, share your story, because you never know who is going through that time and just needs to hear a positive story and help them get through it. And so we definitely appreciate you, Jason, and all you've done for our family and our softball program, and you're a true blessing to us. So I appreciate you having us on today.
What's he like as an uncle?
Oh my gosh.
Is he worse than grandparents for spoiling?
Oh, girl, you just wait. Oh yeah, I bought her a shirt, and it says, it has like peas on it, and cute little peas, and it says, "Peace out, I'm gonna hang out with my uncle."
Oh, nice.
And I bought it. Yeah. They get along great. At first she really wasn't sure, but that was like, we just got out of like the stay at home, so she only knew mom and dad. And yeah, they get along great. Yeah, you just gotta be nice to him, because he'll spoil you rotten.
Oh, I have a
He's
feeling.
a proud uncle, that's for sure. So.
Is this the first niece or nephew? Or
No,
yeah. We have two nephews that
Oh,
live in
okay.
Kalispell, so we're actually.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We're actually gonna go up there, and I'm gonna spill the beans. But it's Sarah's 30th birthday a couple days ago, so we're gonna go spend.
That's right. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thanks. 30.
Sarah nephews and our brother and sister-in-law, and spend a few days camping and enjoying the outdoors. So.
Now, I met the brother at state basketball in Great Falls a couple years ago. Is that okay? All right.
Yeah, he's a coach at. I coaches golf and boys basketball at Flyhead High School.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, the nephews are super excited. They adore Presley, and so it'll be a fun weekend.
Well,
for her.
she's pretty darn cute.
She looks like her dad, but she has my personality and sass and attitude and everything. So she knows how to shop. So
goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, you and Winnie are going to get along great. Winnie's got a purse. She takes us shopping all the time.
You got a best friend already. Yeah.
Oh, that is great. Appreciate you guys coming in. Stick around. I got to wrap some stuff up here, but man, what a great story. And little Presley Jean, there's a smile. Look at you. It's a cute little smile, too. Let's get to On This Day in History. And it is National Chocolate Pecan Pie Day and National Radio Day. See, but you don't need radio. You can do this. Come on in, Winnie. She's not waiting. We've got babies everywhere here on the Jason Walker Show. Let's see. Can we switch the camera? Winnie, you can come in. All right, you guys talk. I'll do On This Day in History. Maybe. There we go. So here we go. On This Day in History. 1915, Chicago White Sox obtained shoeless Joe Jackson from Cleveland. Cost them $31,500 and 3 players. 1919, Joe Wilhoit of Wichita. The Western League failed to get a hit. First time in 69-game streak. So the first time in 70 games he didn't get a hit. He went 155 for 299 during the 69-game hit streak, a 505 average. Coach Jackson would take players hitting 505. He'd take players hitting 300. 1920, the American Professional Football Association was formed. Jim Thorpe was the president. Later became the NFL. 31, Helen Wills Moody got her 7th and final U.S. singles title at the U.S. National Championship. 1938, Yankees future Hall of Famer Lou Gehrig hit his record 23rd and final Grand Slam. 1957, White Sox pitcher Bob Keegan had a no-hitter. 1958, left-handed catcher Dale Long for the Cubs. 1965, Eddie Matthews and Hank Aaron would pass Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig by hitting a combined 772 home runs while playing together on the same team. And one birthday today, it is Demi Lovato's birthday. She's a better singer than Selena Gomez, but she is 28 today. Born in Albuquerque, New Mexico. There you go. All right, let's do this.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
Baby's holding babies in here. Oh, she's bringing in the big dinosaur. Goodness. Yeah, we've got kids, and here, let's see if I can get a little camera angle over here. This is what's great about not being on the radio, is you can do little things like this and then go along. So there's the kids. There's little Presley. Oh, hey, the wife is making an appearance. Sarah's making an appearance. Hi, honey. Yeah, you're on camera. There's Winnie. There's Presley. There we go. Oh, man, good stuff. The walk-off, presented by Cafe Zydeco. Make sure you stop by 625 Euclid in Helena today, also in Bozeman and Billings. Had a great, fun show talking with Sarah Birnel, Aaron Jackson. Google CPAM, and I mean, if you need to reach out, I'm sure you can get a hold of Coach on the Facebook as well. So, what an adorable little girl. We need to have more babies on the show. No, we don't need to have more babies, honey. We just need to have more babies on the show. I don't even know. I'm going to get in so much trouble. All right, let's just start the music. Let's wrap it up. Tomorrow, we'll talk to NAU beat writer Lance Hartzler. Yeah, finally, we're going to talk to him. Next week, Bill Foley, ButteSports.com. Janice Dean, Fox News. Becky Mabston. Nicole Ragoni. But tomorrow, Lance Hartzler, we'll wrap up the week. Have yourself a wonderful and terrific Thursday. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 4. JasonWalkerShow.com if you missed anything from any show. And thanks to our big sponsors from segment sponsors, Rutgers Furniture and MarkLaRoePhotography.com. We'll do it again tomorrow at 4. Have yourself a fantastic Thursday. Bye.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.